Hi everyone, welcome to episode 16 of the Being Ewethful podcast. Can you believe it? 16 already, and we've gotten a lot more viewers. So thank you everybody for watching. Welcome. I am Kim Beegler. I'm the owner of Ewethful Fiber Farm and Mill, and I'm sitting here at the mill in Halsey, Oregon. And we also have our home, and all of our animals are in Harrisburg, where we live. So thanks for joining us. You can find me all over the place. I'm not even going to go through it anymore. It's in the show notes. Pretty much if you Google Ewethful, you'll find me. So, and just side note, the truck that I got, so I got this 69 Ford truck that needs some work, but she's a beaut, and I went and got the license plate and got her registered, and I got custom plates, what they call it, license plates. So I'm pretty excited. I got Ewethful, E-W-E, Ewethful, F-U-L. That was the best I could come up with. We only get 6 letters here, but I'm pretty excited about it. It's gonna look great. So anyway, there's my side note for today. Hi everyone, how are you guys doing? It is summer, I'd say officially summer. Things are good here. My mom is actually in town visiting because she is taking over the house that she bought basically this week. And then her and I are flying down to LA and meeting my sister, and we're going to Palm Springs for a couple days. A very short trip. I've never actually left in July because it's hard to leave in July with harvest and all the animals and Mitch working all the time. So I'm just doing a very quick trip because it's my dear sister's 50th birthday and I want to be there for that. So we're going to do a girls trip to Palm Springs, which basically Palm Springs in the middle of July means we will be laying by the pool the whole time, maybe in the pool. I will be in the pool with like 4 pounds of sunscreen on. So things are a little, I wouldn't even say the past 2 weeks have been crazy. They've been calm considering what time of the year it is. So also, before I forget, thank you everybody who joined the giveaway that I did for fiber. There is a giveaway in this one too. This time it's for yarn, so stay tuned, and hopefully I won't forget till the very last second to show it to you. And I did put up a new mini-sode last week. That is my visit to Charles Little and Company, their flower farm. So if you missed that, it's just kind of a fun checking out the farm, and then a little behind the scenes, and flowers. It's just flowers. So anyway, what's been going on? Not a whole ton. It's harvest, and I'm gonna have some videos of harvest here in a minute. Last week was really, really exhausting. I mean, every week is really exhausting because I can kind of, my day, the way my day plays out when Mitch is in the middle of harvest is that I get up a little before, I get up a bit before him, tend to all the animals, make his breakfast and lunch basically because he doesn't come home again. So I make his breakfast, I make his lunch and get it all packed up for him for the day, make sure he has enough snacks and food and all the things because he's gone until like 9 o'clock at night to 10 o'clock at night. It just depends on what the weather is and everything. So, but basically the sun sets later here, depending on where you are. Like my mom is always astounded by how light it stays. So the days are super long. So anyway, I get him out the door, go finish taking care of animals, do emails, all that stuff, get dressed, finally get myself out the door. And then I try to be at the mill for about 4 hours a day or so, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you're on your feet the whole time. And so I'm very, very focused when I'm here. And then I tend to head home, let the horse out, do afternoon rounds on the animals, random computer work, all that stuff, any dyeing I need to do, housekeeping, animals. And Mitch usually gets home, and then I do put everybody to bed. So I'll do dinner and then put everybody to bed. The horse needs to come in, and the chickens need their stall closed, etc., etc. So Mitch usually gets home somewhere between 9 and 10. If I'm lucky, I've eaten a little bit before him. A lot of times I end up eating dinner with him, and then we're trying to talk for that hour. And then he heads out to do irrigation on our property while I completely pass out. So it's really long days, and I don't stop moving a whole lot of them. I'm trying to get better. I exercise in there somewhere to kind of keep my energy level up. If I get up too early, I'll take a nap, but I'm just not a big napper. So anyway, it's long days. If we're lucky, he gets Sunday off, and this last Sunday he did, and I begged him to not do a million things, and he was good. So that was good. He needed to rest up and do exercise and things that he likes to do on his day off. So it just, last week especially, I was trying to meet the deadline for the yarn for the Making Stories magazine. All the test knitters were notified on Monday, so they wanted to have the chance to buy yarn, and I wanted to make sure I had the yarn up. So I was just hustling the past kind of 2 weeks doing that, and it, woo, got up. So I was really wiped out. So we've made it, and we are, the test knitters got their stuff. Some of those kits are starting to trickle out. They don't have a ton of test knitters. It turns out they basically do 2 to 3 test knitters per size of the sock. So that's like 12 maybe test knitters. So not too crazy, but I wanted to make sure I had enough of it spun up. I had options for colors. So everything's up there, and I'm gonna have some yarn for you guys that you can buy in the sock kits. So anyway, we'll get to that. Other than that, not much else has been going on. The alpaca doctor came out to see, well, he came out to do their regular shots and things like that. And also one of our oldest alpaca, Madrona, has swollen lymph nodes. And so he came out, he was thinking it was a tooth, but then he was like, no. So she's got swollen lymph nodes in her neck that you can obviously see. He was feeling more and more convinced that the lymph nodes kind of on her chest were swollen. The ones in her back legs he could not feel. So we're basically just gonna watch her. She's acting totally fine. She's spitting. I'm gonna insert picture here so you can see she really is acting fine. Me post alpaca visit, doctor visit. They were in rare form. Anyway, she's acting fine, eating fine, spitting fine at me and at everybody around her. She only spits at me on vet day, but she certainly spits at June and her fellow alpaca whenever she feels like it. So she's doing good. We're just gonna watch her. There's not a whole lot. If it's cancer that we would do, camelid treatment for cancer is not great. The outcome is not great. So, and I'm very hesitant about putting any animals through that. So anyway, we're just gonna keep an eye on her and see how she does. Otherwise, it was a good visit. Everybody else was healthy. She's healthy. She's good weight anyway. And she's full spit. So enjoy that picture. Don't worry, I carried on with my day. I did jump in the shower and rinse off with soap, but my hair, I just washed my hair like I was gonna wash all this again just because of a little bit of grass spit. I picked it out. So the lesson I've learned, if you get spit on by an alpaca or a llama, I learned this like first time we had a visit, is let it dry before you try to get it off. It's just a lot easier to get off once it's dry. I know that sounds gross, but valuable lesson learned. We got some chicks. I thought my silky mama, she's our tiniest little mama, I thought she wanted chicks. She was sitting, brooding as they call it, which is when a chicken will start to collect eggs in one spot and then not leave it. Or, you know, they start, it's 3 weeks, I think, for them to hatch an egg. And so they'll sit on it to keep them warm and incubate them, basically. Sometimes other chickens will help. Sometimes other chickens will try to throw their eggs under there so that they can have, I mean, obviously they don't know, but it turns out after I debated and hemmed and hawed and was watching her and thought, no, she actually is. I went and got 3 chicks for her. She was like, get those mother truckers away. She was fine at night, but she woke up in the morning and was like, no, I don't think so. So now I've got 3 chicks. If anybody wants chicks, let me know. Otherwise, it's not so bad to have 3 chicks, and they'll be nice egg layers. So, but if anybody close to me is looking for some free chicks, feel free to message me because I'm more than happy to rehome them. Otherwise, and I'll have them in the farm tour because they're adorable. That's about it. Otherwise, I've just been making yarn like a fiend, trying to keep my husband afloat and harvesting away. So, Wish is next to me. Okay, I think I'm going to give you the farm tour. We'll say hi to the chicks. We'll say hi to the sheep. I'm going to catch the sheep in a moment of pure annoyance because they are so loud. So they're in a new pasture. And actually, I'm going to move them back to their regular pasture before I head to Palm Springs because it's big, lush, and green, and then nobody has to worry about feeding them while I am gone. So I will cut out for a few minutes, let you guys go check in and say hi to all the animals, and then I'll be back. Enjoy. first stop is for the babies. So here's the new chickadees. I mean, they're cute. I don't know why Mama didn't love them. They're hiding from me. Just kidding. I know why. But anyway, so there are the babies. And they're like, get out of here, crazy lady. We're just enjoying the heat. They have a heat lamp on them. And basically when they're this age, you just want to make sure that they have food and water and heat. And that they're doing all of those things. And that their little boom booms don't get kind of blocked up with poop, because that can kill them. They get a little pasty butt. So there they are. I'll try to grab one real quick, even though they do not want me to. We'll see what I can do. Ooh, come on. Without making you guys sick, let's grab a baby. Ooh, here's a baby. He's okay, little baby. Here we go. Here we go. Show everybody how cute you are. Show everybody how cute you are. Oh, hi. See? Okay. So anyway, we'll let him go. And he just flicked poop on me. Yay! Normal. There he is. She, actually. I shouldn't say he. There they all are. Hopefully all she's. All right. Now that I officially have poop on my hand, I'm going to go wash my hands and continue the farm tour. But they're pretty freaking adorable at this age. All right. It's evening. I think it's 7-ish. We'll see if they're gonna. This is quiet. This is a quiet moment. In the morning, they actually like woke my mom up. See, Cash is chasing a predator bird off. We just finished ball with the dogs. So they're all tired. And you can see the babies are getting harder to see, although they're the ones with the wool. And the older guys are a little more shorn. So here's Patrick. June's calling for me. She thinks it's her food time. Elsie, be polite. Here's Patrick. We'll try to go inside. And that's what the game that these two play together. Hi, Patrick. So you can see how he was black when he was born, and you can see how brown he's becoming now. And he really is like an oatmeal brown underneath there. Hi, buddy. And you have a couple foxtails on you, which we're keeping an eye on. We'll pull those off when I go in. The chickens are coming to see what I'm doing. We'll go up and see if I can get anyone to, they'll come up and say hi. We'll keep walking until then. We're just about to move them out of this pasture, so. All right, lots of the ladies out and about doing their thing. They love to be under the tractor. And I'm doing better on eggs these days. That girl's so funny. We'll go in and see if the sheep will come up and say hi. They may. But they may be on to me that I don't have anything for them right now. 50-50. All right, let's see if anyone comes and says hi. It's pretty dry over here. We put them over here and it takes maybe a week. And they've got these smaller pastures pretty cleaned out for us. You guys gonna come say hi? I'll come over here. Oh, hi, baby girl. Hi. Hi. Do you have a... I know. Patrick. He doesn't love for me to break open his wool, but... Hi, Alexis. But... Alright, he's not going to let me. Let's break her open. Oh, she's got so much crap. I don't know where they get all this from. And apparently nobody else is going to come. Anybody? No. Just these two. Just these two are going to say hi. But at least you can see them in the evening. We'll see if... There's Patrick. He's leaving. Okay, there you go. All right. We'll move onward and say hi. Alexis is still here. I'll say hi to her and pick blackberries off of her fleece. Miss Mama wants to say hi. There's the moon, guys. I'm going back down. We're just gonna, I thought I'd show you the evening. So it is 9 o'clock. So if it is not this light where you guys are at 9 o'clock, which my mom is endlessly shocked by, this is what it's like here. Usually everybody's pretty chill at night. They do sometimes think that I am going to feed them, but they kind of get the evening gist. And the dogs have eaten, so we're just kind of, this is like one of their evening potty breaks. And usually Mitch does this when he isn't working. And they kind of come along. The moon. It's always nice. It's cool this evening. And by cool, I mean like 70. And June is up top. And I'll call her here in a minute because it's time for her. She's the only one that gets kibble at night. And it brings her in. Junebug! Everybody's pretty chill. Junebug! Here she comes. See, she's making an appearance. She's all the way at the top, and she does not want to miss her kibble. Here she comes. Come on, Junebug. Everybody else is down the bottom. She gets all fired up, starts throwing her head, which I love. Here comes the old lady. That's June running. You ready for some dinner? Okay, you guys, I hope you could hear that because that was freaking adorable. Okay, that was worth every moment. The challenge at night is to get past the alpaca and into her space. So we'll see if she, and they like to keep her at bay. You can see her over there. Come on, Junebug. Come on. Here she comes. She has to brave. I told you, that's Madrona. Come on, baby girl. Let's do this. And Cuddlebug is tied in because otherwise. So there's Miss June. She's the only one. Cuddlebug's ticked off. Every night we go through the same thing. And the alpaca, but I'll bring them a little bit of hay. It'll appease them. Sorry. Now we're just gonna run over and put the chickens to bed because I don't think I've shown you guys the chickens at bedtime. If you're not a chicken person, you may not know. You can see most of them are in the coop, except for probably mama chicken. But chickens go back to their coop at night naturally, and then I come down at night and I shut them in to keep any predators out. And I don't look up because there's bats and they freak me out. So even though they're great and wonderful and I appreciate them being alive, they still freak me out. It's always the startle factor. So here's the ladies at bedtime. Sometimes they bully each other. And they're kind of all over the place. And there's one that I'll show you as I leave, and then we'll wrap it up. And Mama, I just let her sleep wherever. I've kind of given up on, we count, and Mitch is he counts and makes sure everybody's here, and then he hunts them down. I don't, because I'm tired by the end of the day. But here's my Roger. And every night, I go and I pull her off and I put her in the coop. So that's it for this farm tour, guys. I hope you've enjoyed checking in on everybody. I'm going to finish putting them to bed and go eat myself. Not eat myself, but eat, comma, myself. I don't know. get the point. And then I'm going to put myself to bed after Mitch gets home. So take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that. The sheep are so loud right now. The babies are getting so big. Oh my gosh, their fiber is stunning. Everybody's doing good. Everybody's doing good on the farm, which is great. Harvest update. I'm tired, just kidding. I did have to put on a little bit of, oh my gosh, hide, and Mitch is tired. But there is a lot of seed this year, which, because the weather changing, it's a little bit less predictable maybe how much seed there's going to be. I mean, in farming you can never predict 100% what's going to happen, but we didn't get enough rain, obviously, and then we had a little burst of rain kind of late for what we wanted it for, but and then we had a heat wave. I mean, it's just been all over the place. Speaking of, I just listened to NPR, not NPR, The Daily, the New York Times, The Daily. They have a podcast, and they were talking about the heat wave in the Pacific Northwest. Super interesting if you have any interest in it. And they do talk about just what it meant for people living here that are not used to it, getting from anywhere from 112 up to I think 116 is where it got to in Portland. And then they talk about the science behind, is this part of global warming? That hot topic. And just so you know, they said absolutely, the science shows this is 100% a cause of, or impact of global warming, and that it literally could not have happened 100 years ago. It just couldn't have happened that it would get this hot. It wasn't just like, oh, it could happen once every 10 years. It was like, it couldn't get this hot 100 years ago. So super interesting if you have any interest in that. It's not super in depth, but it does talk about what it meant to our region to have that kind of a heat wave that hasn't happened before, and what it might mean for the future, which obviously impacts farming also. So anyway, what's happening now? So last time you guys saw the windrower, they had cut the grass. Now it is combining, and I have some great videos. Mitch got some yesterday while he's driving seed truck, which we talked about, and you can actually see the truck in one of the videos. He drives combines sometimes in the evenings if the people driving go home a little earlier or whatever, but basically he's driving the truck. In one of the videos, the combine is pulling around and it dumps the seed into the truck, which I talked about last time what Mitch does. So he's driving those semis back and forth, literally all day, and there is so much seed in some of the fields, and it can be very hit and miss. We can have a field, we kind of our farm within about, I think it's probably 10 miles, different acreages. So in some spots, and depending on the variety, because we do grow different varieties of grass, some spots can be like super high yield and others are like but a lot of it has been high yield enough that Mitch said that we had to borrow some trucks from other farmers because they were getting too far behind. They weren't having places to dump, and you don't want to slow the combine down. You don't want the combine just sitting. Literally, the combines drive in circles all day long from the moment they turn them on. The only reason they stop is so that the drivers can get out and pee. That's it. They eat while they're driving, and they're driving like 2, 3, 4 miles an hour. I can clarify and put it down, but it's driving very, very super slow. So anyway, we've got some great video. I'll show that, but I just wanted to show you. So the grass got cut, it laid on the ground, it dried. I don't think we got any rain. We might've got some mist, but, and just to kind of like 2 years ago, we were kind of starting combining later, and it was still like raining enough. It just doesn't take much moisture for them not to be able to combine, because it makes the grass gets damp, and then the seed doesn't separate out as well. So anyway, we have not had that issue this year. There's definitely not been rain. So I have my little stalks. So I actually put these up on one of my great wheels that is in the window of the shop, so it got extra dried because my front windows just cook stuff, and you can see how brown it all is now compared to the last time. And if I just, let's see if it'll do it for me, and you can kind of see some of it just from me shaking it. Can you see it falling out? Anyway, just from me doing that little action with my hand, I'll show you, let's see if I can. So that's basically in essence what the combine is doing. It's picking it up and it's separating out the seed, and it tosses the seed into the back of the combine, basically into a compartment, and then the seed gets put into a truck. Then the truck goes to the farm for storage until it's ready to be cleaned, or sometimes it goes straight to the company that's going to clean the seed before it's packaged and shipped out for sale. So that's what's happening right now. They are, maybe it will grow. I mean, you can see just stuff falling out of it. Lots of the flower farmers I've been talking to that live around us are like, oddly enough, I'm growing grass in between my flowers because it just blows everywhere. The other thing about combining it is super dirty as far as if you live here. So before we moved into our current house, which still gets dirty, and I can't really explain it. I like to say it's clean dirt because it's farm dirt, but the house we lived in before this, it was the farm century house, and it was not insulated. The windows, you know, had the original windows, and the amount of dust. I mean, you basically, because the combine just kind of, everything ends up super tiny and chopped up, and it's just flying all through the air right now. So it gets real dirty in the houses. Even with really good sealed homes, you're still gonna get like this layer, and you basically just have to like wet everything down, like wet mop everything to clean it. And I'm gonna tell you a quick little story. We're still married, so you know that. But the first year that we lived here, I had the doors open on the Century Farm house and was just going about my day. And a farmer across the street, the Century house, was literally surrounded by grass fields. 100%. There's grass fields. There's no trees. There's nothing to break it. It is brutal. And so I had the doors open one day, not even thinking about it. And then a couple hours later, I'm walking through the house and I could see stuff kind of billowing in. Oh my God, you guys. Mini chopped bits of like grass, like minuscule, with dust and debris just all over everything. I basically cried. And then Mitch came home that night and I was like, I left the door. He's like, his response, well, why would you do that? Okay. Not the proper response to have. Love you, baby. But I learned a valuable lesson, as did he that day. So it gets really dirty. So while allergies are down right now, there's so much stuff in the air that it just adds a different layer of being congested to it. So harvest, I'm going to show you some videos. Here you go. Enjoy. Here's the combine in action. And I'm hoping next week to have a video from inside the combine because it's pretty cool. And they'll be combining something. It takes several weeks to get the combining done, and then basically we finish up a lot of our grasses, and then the bank grass, which is the golf course grass, gets done very last. So we still have a while, and then after that they start turning the fields, making dirt so they can replant them before the rain comes. So I will be back in just a few minutes. Enjoy some combining. hope that was fun. When we first came back to the farm, Mitch was combining a lot of the summer, and I would go out there with my knitting, and I would sit in the combine with him for a couple rounds, and he doesn't combine much anymore, so we don't get to do that. But the nice thing is it's air conditioned in their cabs, and our other home did not have air conditioning, so I would go out. Usually like 3 to 4 is when they're kind of like sleepy, because you think that somebody who's driving combine, they start the day and they end the day. So if their day starts at 10 or so, and they don't stop until 8 to 9 depending, and they're in there all day driving 3 hours, 3 miles an hour maybe, in circles. So it's intense. So 3 to 4 is kind of the crash time. So I would go sit out there with him, but not anymore. That's okay. We'll have our day again, I'm sure. Okay, what have I been working on? I think it's even more embarrassing than last week, what I have been working on. Here's what I've been working on. Prineville yarn. Making Prineville yarn, feeding my husband, taking care of animals, making Prineville yarn. Repeat, 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 with some sleep in there. So I'll show you a little bit, but I did do something for you guys, the giveaway. So first, update. I don't even know that it's worth I'm not even gonna show you my Horn Dorsa update, because I think I've knit like an inch on it. It's super embarrassing. My sweater has not come much further either, but you can see a little bit more clearly the top of my sleeve. So I'm done with the short rows, and pretty soon here I'm just going to be knitting with some decreases along the way, but it's coming along. I'm going to finish it before the fall. Actually, Palm Springs, guess what I'll be doing in 100, because I'm not a person that says it's hot, I don't want to knit. And this is pretty lightweight, even though it's light, so I'll probably knit on that. Okay, so that's moving along. I did knit up this swatch. Does that count? Does that count? This is our Prineville yarn that I was having some issues with, so I ended up having to go back. Basically, I was getting almost kind of like a little bit of a boucle reaction in the yarn after if I introduced it to water. So I kind of assessed the reason why, which I think is that I was stretching the yarn too much, and then the mohair especially could not bounce back in the right way. So anyway, I re-steamed a lot of the yarn that I had dyed, and then I needed to do this to make sure that when it hit water again, it wasn't going to react in any way, which it didn't. And that's what I thought, because it's going to be knit, and so it's not going to react in the same way as when it's just a loose skein. But that was a fun, stressful moment there. And the yarn is beautiful. I mean, I just love it. And I don't have this color at the moment, but something similar. But it just really, it's great for socks, which is what I designed it for, right? So, you guys, oh no, giveaway. I'll show you the giveaway now, because that is the one thing that I was like, I'm gonna finish this for them, damn it. So here's your giveaway, yarnies, or hand spinners that just want yarn. So this is the very last, and it's about 150 yards of what I'm knitting my sweater out of. And it is the Rambouillet. The white is Rambouillet, and the other is like a mohair nylon silk. And then I had some Rambouillet left on a bobbin, so I went ahead and did a 2-ply on that, and I'm gonna give these away. I haven't soaked it yet, so it's a little kinky still, but I'm gonna give these away together because they would be really cute knitted up into something. Whoever wins this, don't knit socks. So this is a 2-ply, meaning it has one single plied together. So it's not going to be as strong as a 3-ply, which you would use for socks or something, but it will make something really cute. So, giveaway. I'm trying to think of what to call it. What should you comment below? How about I love hand spun? So yeah, these are both hand spun by me. Giveaway. Today you're gonna get this. So let's do the same thing. End of day Tuesday, which is, what would that, I think that's my sister's birthday, the 20th. So end of day Tuesday, you have to enter and win this. And I'm gonna guess this is probably 150 to 200 yards also, but I haven't counted it yet. So anyway, if you want to win, enter the giveaway. I love hand spun yarn. Guys, that's what I've been working on. Let me show you the Prineville, because since I have been working on it so much, and it's basically the mill tour, as you can imagine, is Prineville yarn, Prineville yarn, Prineville yarn. I put together sock kits for the pattern, and now I'm putting up sock kits for you all. So basically the sock kit comes with one skein of 500 yard in a natural, basically this is a white wool with some gray or white mohair blended in it. So that's how it's getting that heathered gray. So it's one skein of 500 yard that, and then there are colors to choose from for the secondary. So if you want to do heels and socks separate, there are some colors, and you get 125 yards of those. You can also put in the comments, I want my main color to be dyed and my heel toe to be natural, or whatever. You could do whatever. Basically, just let me know what you're looking for, and I, for the most part, will try. Well, I will try to oblige. I will most definitely try to oblige. If you want something a little bit different, or if it says that the quantity is sold out, just email me, because a lot of times, as I've said before, I dye a lot of it to order, because there's no sense in me dyeing all of it in this blue and then nobody likes the blue and then I have all this blue. So I'm for the most part dye to order, other than what I've kind of dyed up to have as a little stock. So there's our Prineville yarn. It really does make some pretty awesome socks. And this is 80/20 border Leicester wool and mohair, and I use the mohair as a replacement for nylon, basically, which is in a lot of sock yarns. And it's a very strong yarn. I've knit some socks out of it. Now that I've been working with it so much, I'm obsessed and want to knit more socks out of it. So I might cast on some socks. So that's where we are with that. And sock yarn, something super fun that I wanted to show you. This just happened to be hanging by one by the other, and I was like, oh my gosh, so that you can see. So we talk about wool not being generic. I talk about wool not being generic. You guys listen. Thank you for listening. I don't know why you listen. Anyway, see, I am tired. So here's our border Leicester that I'm making this Prineville yarn out of. Here is our Horn Dorset that I've talked so much about. So different. And sorry, my camera's trying to figure out what to do. So dense, a little bit of crimp. This is a down. This is a long hair, not as much bounce back to it. Those big crimps are in it, and obviously staple length, so different, right? And I should say that my Prineville yarn, a lot of times I do have in natural darker grays, but the sheep were overachievers, and the natural colored sheep grew staple lengths way too long. So for me to spin into yarn, so not happening. Anyway, so there's our two. Now, I didn't grab any mohair, but I think I'll talk about mohair maybe in the next episode, because it's worthy of its own. Now I've worked with mohair a lot, but. So here is our skein, and I probably will have to stand up, of wool and mohair. So these came off of the same, I wound them on the same, and I'll get a picture of them. So I wound them on the same skein winder, which I will insert a picture of a skein winder so you can see what I'm talking about. Here is our Horn Dorset yarn. Okay, so I have them at the same spot up top, right? Look at what happens. Do you see how short the Horn Dorset is in comparison? So they were wound on the same amount, but when I pulled them off the skein winder, this one went whoop. This one, because of the wool and the mohair, there's not that same bounce back. Isn't that spectacular? I mean, that is a solid 5 inches or so, probably 6 inches difference. So, and I'm going to insert a picture of a skein winder with yarn on it so you can see what I'm saying if you don't know what that is. And obviously the weights of the yarn are different, but that's not really what's impacting the difference in the lengths of these skeins. It is literally the bounce back in the wool versus the no bounce back in the wool. Wool is not generic. And even if I didn't have the mohair in here, it would be a noticeable difference still, because that Dorset just has so much bounce back. Truly amazing. Yarn, wool is not generic. and let me hold up so you can see, just so you can kind of see it. This made this, and it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, even just when you look at the yarn, the wool, this plus mohair made this. Super cool. So anyway, I really wanted to show that with you. I was so excited when I just randomly had them hanging next to each other and was like, whoa, that's a pretty awesome example of that. So that's that. Hand spinners, measure for reals. And I'll do a little thing on how I take it off of here and measure it. But don't just assume that because this is 2 yards, you times however many wraps you have by 2, and that's your yardage, because you're gonna run out if you're using a specific kind of yarn. So wool. I think that's it, guys. It's not quick at all. I'm gonna stop apologizing for it. I get comments from people that are like, whatever, who cares? It's fun. Okay, so I'm not gonna apologize anymore for it being long. I think, you guys, that is it, other than the farm tour, right? No, what's happening at the mill? Why do I keep doing that? What's happening at the mill? Prime Bill yarn. But still fun. I kind of walk you through the process of what I'm doing in the back, and the next time you see me, I'm moving on. I got Fiber Club to do, and actually I'm gonna be done spinning this yarn for a while. I need a break from it, and it's time to restock with some other fibers in the online shop. So, whew, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you got some tidbits of new information out of it, and maybe it made you smile at some point. Hopefully it made you smile at some point. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all feeling well. I hope that just in general, you're being kind to your neighbors are being kind to you, and keep on trucking, right? So until next time, I'll be here. Thank you. Hi everyone, it's what's going on at the mill. Here comes Wish. You see her in the background. She just finished eating. It's loud because the spinner is on. I'm going to show you that at the end so I can edit it and cut out the sound. But I'm going to flip you around. Per the usual, the door is open because this is Wish's new favorite thing, is to go out that door. She goes out and then she can zip under the building. And it's like her favorite place in the world now. So anyway, there she goes. She just had her wet food. She's going to venture out. She doesn't go very far. I always know where to find her. Cutie. Okay, so we have got, I told you guys I was working on sock yarn. So this is Border Leicester and mohair. Ready for the carder. Border Leicester and mohair on the carder. And I'll show you the end. Here, let me turn it on for just a sec. I'm getting ready to do another batch right now. Sorry, I don't have lights on in here because it still warms up pretty quick. You can see it's got a little bit of gray to it. That's the mohair. The draw frame is quiet at the moment because it's waiting for mohair and wool. Here's more that I just picked out and conditioned, and this is more on the white end, and I'm kind of just putting it all together, but some of it's a little bit super light gray and some of it's more light gray. How's that? So that's ready. And waist that will go to a felter. Guess what's in here? Border Leicester! So much Border Leicester. And I have, I think, 2 more fleeces at home that I need to skirt. This is kind of the last for this batch, and there's some over here, along with some mohair, but we're at the tail end of what I've got washed up. So I was gonna finish this batch so that there's sock yarn available to you guys if you want it. Some more Prime Bill. And I'm gonna go near the spinner, and I'll let you see. so loud in there that I thought, oh, if I do that as a separate clip, I can cut out the loud. And I've got some music blaring up here for me. And then this is some of the stuff that I have left to skein. Some of it I've already skeined, some of it not, but this is wool and mohair. So here's some of the sock yarn that I'm skeining up in pairs for the most part. This is actually some Halsey that I did before and have not gotten back to skeining it, so that's gonna get done today. And then here's some of the dyed minis, which I just love. And a little bit more to go into pairs. So today I am doing a little bit of everything. A little bit of spinning, a little bit of plying, a little bit of picking, a little bit of carding. No washing though. So, and probably no draw frame. That'll be tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll probably do both of those. So anyway, guess what's going on at the mill? Wool and mohair. All right, guys. You're gonna scan through. Let you see the place. All right. Thanks for coming on the tour.